Hello, YouTuber Anthony Wall here. Alone. me. Alone in the cool winter breeze. Trees. They fall down last the oak leaves. Trees. The wind is blowing. With twill play, twill till, twill seas. They fall down last the oak leaves. I just had a part and I forgot it now, which makes it about humanity. So everyone's all ulterior than evolution science, which has the answers inter science. All answers, yeah, all every question slash S is attached to this identity of value progression's identity of relationship to itself. What makes inventions work or not? What revealed and reveals evolution's fruits and gifts or their loss, lethal IDs, any system other than its own, which is the connection between all systems. The ancients most probably had microscopes, and even if they didn't, even there are proofs that they did. They had a different conception of campuses that they can't afford under imagined, even though it's more practical than what they have prescribed to maintain self value prescription attributed to the semi ancients, the people, even our founders. No one had free speech because of a breaching method using human fact achieving nature styles, identity, the ground, relationships. See, this evolution science does not work without the ground science. Its actual identity of relationship to its actual identity of value progression. Its identity is the only thing surging through all things. Boxings. The sciences share an identity. So this is more sports wisdom. From I had many fights in USA boxing. I don't have I had which is a amateur boxing, open class though. I was like one of the most active open class fighters in New England till just about right before the World Trade Center attack. People had made confessions to me and things like that and requests for help. And I didn't explain this to them because I didn't understand it because it was in relationship to people, to identity ground locations that were also involved, are also involved with databases, involved with all kinds of sequence roles with sequence shifts maintain self-valued by everyone for time reasons. For example, Native Americans, they're right. Even when they're right about things, like say, if an army of white people, so they're right. The white man destroyed the nature, it was this is a semi-ancient trap that has everyone engineered, everyone consciously with everyone missing it, to blame other things, others themselves, and then to defend that as a fact nature style that was propagated to roles with the fact nature torture and slavery of our founding parents. Only emotions and passions dishonest or allowed to speak other since founding. Intersciences we have categorically. See, we have roles with as victims this other organized crime method, worse than war crimes, fluent through all natures of overt criminal enterprises, private ones, militaries, shared policing, Shared identities of law interbranch, individually grouped it together. Since some ancient times, they cannot, as victims, defend themselves and us at the same time. Backed into it the same way on off campuses, in collusion, the overt criminal enterprises are kept needing to hide the same sequence shifts. Finite lies, active lies, progressive lies, identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering acts roles, methods roles. Our branches of government used remotely, having only been allowed that. Real motivations, like the monies of those jobs, the salaries of it. Those are all juxtaposed. No one wants to be in this semi-ancient zoning laws. You can't defend it and use what is actually recorded evidence, which is criminally foreign influence stewards of all identity of the ground locations originally and still. So then everyone would stay fact human nature propagated, self cultivated. Again, blaming other things other than self, that's engineered. All we have to do is admit this because each modern nation shares this. That was we're in a semi-ancient trap. So all must rap. Return from hop at once. Vaccines, the fruits of evolution, Santa Claus. This is with cipher, and this is the Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas decipher. I read on Wikipedia that um, Saint Nicholas had been put in prison. Now there are proofs that he was put in prison in relationship to how, since ancient times, the branches of government, each identity of them, like your body has a whole bunch of identities of cells, individually grouped, they make a heart. They make themselves individually grouped and together. Then each individual cell's complete identity is simultaneously, unceasingly, increasingly valuable semi-nature relationship, simultaneous nature relationship, rather, add to the simultaneous nature that all the cells are together in relationship to the simultaneous nature that is the value that is what generated. That is a scientific value between before, while being each individual identity of sequence nature, each grouped identity of sequence nature, and all of them together. This is why and how there is individual, grouped, sexes, ages, areas, and species body of value. This is another body of value in demonstration to us. This is the reason why body of value bodies are. This is reason why plants have cells and animals have cells. Cell nucleus, cell body, cell wall. This trinity is manifest with two identities of sequence nature. Now I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, not peace form. In predicate act of the law and is in relationship to the discernment of a whole bunch of other truths. See, but we have truths used to lie already and are not defended by the branches of government used remotely since before of every modern nation. Before any modern nation's founders were forced to the roles with the semi-ancient individual grouped in together, forced to be shared policing of identity ground locations of the sciences, of the identity of the sciences, which are everyone missed. Nations A through Z, then Native Americans A through Z. That's what really enabled the phenomenon of James Madison, who could only understand what they were going to do next with their phases, where they had everyone locked into roles with what is unfathomable, unnatural. But everyone would pretend other because of the method they were using, the breaching method, the simple organized crime method. That also, again, engineered everyone blaming other things other than themselves, not just by accident. It was facilitated specifically for that. Facilitated specifically to have value treatments anything but. Note to the the orders of value. Five, five, not just bonded sequence identities of sequence nature. Five simultaneous, part one identity of simultaneous nature and demonstration to science with no criminal foreign influences, no physical delusions, and not attaching using truths for lies, not valuing truths used for lies. Having had that value is all we've been known in relationship to each position of podium since before computers, each database relationship, further and further with such to all identity ground locations. So this is a this is a method. So what we do is understand what is actually recorded, which are criminally foreign influence zoning laws. Zoning laws we need to help to protect ourselves. But everything we need, everything critical. Originally, still, this was sophistication here since before us. This was sophistication there since before their modern nations. Every modern nation individually grouped and together was backed into a organized crime group that binds to roles with another nature of simultaneous nature, self value, because its method is right with, for example, right with overt criminal enterprises and the legalized criminal enterprises, criminal and seditious natures of modern natures, criminally legalized, self-valued, criminally foreign influenced, because everyone was taken through criminally foreign influenced campuses of each age